played more games. They're 5-3. But then you got the Crop Dusters, Bombers, Haymakers, Red Raiders, and the Black Sox, who got their first win of the season against the Haymakers on Friday night. They had a nice little extra innings win on Friday night. So that's how the standings are currently kind of looking through the, I'd say about the midway point through the Corn Belt League season.
Yeah, and let's take a look at our upcoming broadcast schedule. On Monday, we'll see the Crop Dusters face off the Rail Riders. That'll be tomorrow at 7 p.m. also here at Seymour Smith. And then on Tuesday, we'll see the Royal Blue Dogs face off the Filth Ballers, also at Seymour Smith at 7 o'clock as well.
Couple good matchups. That Filth Ballers Royal Blue Dogs matchup is going to be a matchup that's going to see a lot of pitching, a lot of hitting as well. That's going to be a real complete game. That's two of the top three teams in the league, and it's a beautiful day. The CWS is going on in Omaha, but got to be tuning into some Corn Belt League action.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Can't go wrong with it.
Yep, it's a beautiful day out here in Ralston at J.J. Isaacson Field. Pretty sunny, not too much wind going on, so it should be a pretty good day for baseball here.
Can't go wrong, can't go wrong. You never know what you're going to get this time of year with the storms. You could get a lot of storms, thunderstorms, wind, cloud cover. This is ideal. We're going to get another one of those gorgeous baseball sunsets that we talk about all the time.
Yes.
And like you always mention, it's not an Ethan broadcast without a dog cam.
And
so I'm sure at some point
we definitely will. We will
get the dogs on camera tonight.
And we'll probably bring up food at some point too.
Without a doubt, because I'm already kind of hungry.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. It is very much inevitable.
So we will take a quick break here, and we will be back shortly to start off this Sunday night game. This is the Corn Belt League Network. welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field, where the Royal Blue Dogs will face off the Crop Dusters. First at bat will be the visiting team, the Crop Dusters, facing off the Blue Dogs. Let's go through this Crop Dusters lineup here. Starting off, we'll have Andy Cisneros starting off the at-bat, and then will be Cody Zrust. Next up will be the third baseman, Cade Perry, the DH, Tyler Bishop, Max Visor, our right fielder, will be fifth in, and then will be Parker Mooney. Next will be Strezek in left field, Trevor Erger, and then to finish off will be Cole Geezer. And then for the Royal Blue Dogs, we'll have TJ Silliman, Luke Bees, Will Johnson, Carson Krogoski, Jackson Van Pelt, the extra hitter, Logan Stribling, Garrett Seisman, the DH, Jake Butler, first baseman, Cardiff Smith, and then Dumont is your catcher.
Should be a pretty good one tonight. We've got the little Bennington connection. Ryan Malone to Cannon Dumont. Ryan Malone graduated from Bennington High School. Cannon Dumont graduated from Bennington High School, and that is where I graduated from as well. So got a little personal connection between these two guys as they were teammates in high school, and I grew up with them for years. So it's going to be interesting to see how the two and how their chemistry has maybe not fallen off or potentially fallen off over the past couple years because they both go to different schools. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in this one on the mound.
Right, and then even a chemistry from the field up into the press box.
Right,
Ethan McCormick here.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. You know, I'm gonna try not to throw a little shade their way, but you never know.
Well, first up, taking the at bat is Andy Cisneros, and pitching for the Crop Dusters will be Ryan Malone, who has a 1-run record. The pitch is up, and it's a bit out for a first ball, starting off the count 0-1. Oh, sorry, 1-0.
It's going to be interesting for Ryan Malone to solidify that fastball in the outer half of the zone.
Pitches another ball. Have a 2-0 count, start off the first at bat. Malone pitches, and he watches that ball go by him again for a third ball. Cisneros takes an early lead at the ball count with a 3-0 count.
Quick little hole that Malone has kind of worked himself into. We'll see if Cisneros can get on base here.
And that one's going to be down the middle for a strike. Malone brings the count up to 3-1.
If you're Cisneros sitting in the batter's box, you know that you're going to get a pitch to hit here with 3-1. Obviously, Malone doesn't want to start the game with the walk, so we'll see what Malone can give him here.
And he does take it out, and starting off our first at-bat for Cisneros will be a walk.
That is about as ideal as a start you're going to get here for the Crop Dusters. The Crop Dusters, middle of the pack. We kind of talked about middle of the pack so far in the CBL standings for the 2023 season. They're going to have to really piece together some quality ABs here today, get some runs on the board early, and see if they can piece together a couple of multi-score innings.
All right, and now with the man on first, Cody Zrust will take the at-bat, and that first pitch will be a strike. And it's going to be a pickoff attempt back to first, but won't make an attempt to tag him. So Cisneros will stay on first, and we'll do it again. 0-1 count. We'll see another pickoff attempt. Pitches up. He takes a big swing at that, but no contact. That'll be a strike. And Zrust will get will be behind in an 0-2 count.
Zrust from Washburn University, an MIAA product, competes against Northwest Missouri State, Newman. A couple products we have here in the Corn Belt League this season.
He checks his swing there, but it'll be a strike, and that'll be that'll be Malone's first strikeout of the day. And we'll see Cade Perry take the at-bat for the Crop Dusters.
Way to paint that outer half. Malone knew exactly what he needed to do, and he blew the fastball and painted the outside corner of the plate. That could be the confidence that Malone needs to get going throughout this game.
The pitch is up.
believe that was a called
That'll be a
ball.
ball.
Yep, ball. Yep.
We'll see another pickoff attempt to Cisneros on first, but he will still be safe. It's our third of the game already. He's not wanting to take any chances with Cisnero. And that will be another ball, 2-0 for Perry.
Cade Perry is also a Washburn product. Interesting fact about Washburn. Washburn's mascot's the Ichabods. The Ichabod is actually the name of a 18th century higher class citizen.
And that pitch will bounce out of the catcher's hand, and Cisneros will take first to second for stolen base, and the count is 3-0. So Malone's struggling to get a feel for the ball here. Did get a strikeout, but he's faced off 2 3-0 counts already in his first 3 at-bats.
That was Cody's first stolen base of the 2023 season.
And the pitch is high, and he will walk for another batter walked, and now we will have a man on second and first for the Crop Dusters. And taking the at-bat will be the DH, Tyler Bishop.
Tyler Bishop from Southeast Community College. He's a community college prospect. We'll see if he can break this game open here for the Crop Dusters in an early contest so far.
And he takes a big line drive, and it'll just be foul into left field. So that'll be a strike, and we'll do it again. Runner still on first and second.
Malone needs to come with his best stuff here on this at-bat. Can't afford to have another base runner.
Pitches up, and it'll be a strike. 0-2 count. That's what Malone needed after having 2 walked batters. If we give him back a little bit of drive. And contact is made foul deep into left field. And he's not going to get to that one.
Looked like Rogalski had a chance to make a play on that ball. The ball just dropped on the warning track here in foul territory. I wonder if maybe he lost it or the wind. He thought the wind was going to take it out. But the flag out in center field is standing pretty still. There's not a lot of movement going on out there on that flag. So maybe just a little misplay out there in left field.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Based off his body language, it looked like it was going to go out of the park, but it just sat about 20 feet in front of him, so I'm not really sure what happened there either. But we'll do it again. It's an 0-2 count for Malone. Facing off of Bishop, DH, and we'll reset here. Still got runners on first and second, so Malone's got to keep his eye out. Pitches up. He fouls that one up. Catcher tries to track it down, and he cannot pull it in. Back-to-back foul balls that could have easily been caught, but they were not able to be hauled in.
And that's a tough play for Dumont behind the plate. The ball, you have to catch that ball over your shoulder, over your head. You don't know exactly if that's going to get carried out, run you into the fence, play you a little short, but those are plays that you eventually do have to make, but those are still very tough plays because it could really take you in any 3 to 4 different directions.
So we'll have another 0-2 pitch here with 1 out in the inning in the top of the first. Pitch is up, and it's a big swing strikeout for Malone. Bishop will walk back to the dugout, and that'll be 2 outs on the inning. Still have a man on first and second. And now taking the at-back is Max Pfizer, the right fielder.
From Northwestern College, Max Pfizer is batting .200 on the year. He's got a couple hits so far in the 2023 campaign.
That'll be a strike for Malone. Start off the inning with 2 walked batters and 2 strikeouts. Hopes to close this one out. It's 0-1 count. And that one is inside. So now the count will be 1-1.
Malone is going to fill the strike zone as much as he can. He is going to absolutely try to load this strike zone up. He's going to throw you pitches that you can hit. He's going to throw you pitches that you can probably crush. You just got to be really disciplined up there at the plate, and you got to have a watchful eye for what he's about to throw.
Malone pitches that one down in the dirt. And now the count will be 2-1 for Pfizer.
Got to give a huge shout out to Alex Tiajen, who was watching from the Oral Roberts dugout out at the CWS.
And he takes a big swing at that one, but it'll be a strike, no contact. So now the count will even out to 2-2 with 2 outs on the top of the first.
Expect Ryan Malone to take a little bit off of his fastball, either go with a slower velocity fastball or maybe hit a changeup here. Expect it to be maybe outside after working in on that pitch. We'll see where he goes if he can locate east-west.
Ryan will reset here. Pfizer wipes his eye down, make sure he can get a good eye on this ball. Pitches up, and it is low. So it'll be a full count. Malone disagreed with that one. He thought it painted the corner, but the ump did not. So we will have a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Pitches up and swings, and it's no good. It's a strikeout, and that'll end the top of the first inning. With a man on first and a man on second, Malone is able to close out to the top of the first. And we'll switch sides here. We'll see the Royal Blue Dogs take the at-bat with the Crop Dusters in the outfield. This is the Corn Belt League Network. Welcome you back here at J.J. Isaacson Field. The Royal Blue Dogs will take their first at-bat of the game in the bottom of the first inning. Pitching for the Crop Dusters will be Robert O'Malley.
Robert O'Malley comes into this one with a 0 ERA. He has faced 15 batters. He has put them down all. He has not allowed a earned run so far this year, and he's got an opponent's batting average of .214, and he's got a whip of exactly 1. That's pretty good if you ask me. Robert O'Malley from Creighton University. So we'll see how he can go down this Royal Blue Dogs lineup, who can hit the ball pretty well.
Yep, and first up at bat for the Royal Blue Dogs will be T.J. Silliman, the center fielder. Pitches up, and it's low. That'll be a ball, starting off the count 1-0.
See if O'Malley can kind of vary his speeds against this Blue Dogs lineup. It'll be interesting to see how he attacks this today.
The pitch is high, so it'll be an early 2-0 count for Silliman. These Blue Dogs have really had a great hitting season. I mean, they're ranked first in the Corn Belt League with a 5-1 record.
But this is also a team that's batting 201 on the year.
And that ball is blooped into right field over the first baseman, short of the right fielder. And that'll be a base hit for T.J. Silliman.
T.J. Silliman continues to add on to his 2023. Before that at-bat, he was batting .375. We'll see where his adjusted average is at after that at-bat, but I'm presuming it's going to be about 400, and that's a very good average in college baseball.
So starting off a base hit for T.J. Silliman, we'll go to Luke Bees, number 17, batting at second. And that'll be a strike for O'Malley, 0-1 count.
Just caught the outside part of the plate. It looks like the strike zone today is going to favor more outside compared to inside. And pitchers are going to kind of learn that after the first inning, and they're going to start attacking that outer half of the plate.
O'Malley eyes down first. The pitch is up. Hits that one to O'Malley, drops it, and he'll get to first. He'll push Silliman to second, and that'll be a hit.
That's a real tough play. That's going to be ruled a base hit. That's a real tough play for your pitcher. That's also a real tough play for your middle infield. The base runner got a really good jump towards second. It's just a chopper of a ground ball that kind of splits the 1 to 4 gap over here. That's a real tough play. That's a base hit 10 out of 10 times, unless your pitcher can get off the mound real quick and turn a double play or at least get the out at first.
Right, to be able to pitch, focus on a pitch, and then immediately to be playing in the outfield to try to snag that ball. It's a real tough thing to do, so can't really make an error out of that.
Right.
So now with the man on first and second, O'Malley checks his pitch and eyes down second, make sure no funny business will be going on, no stolen bases. And now catcher's going to meet up next to the mound with O'Malley.
We got a meeting of the minds out there out on the mound. And we'll see. This is usually just a wellness check, a welfare update on your pitcher. See how he's doing out there on the mound. See if he's still got his stuff, if he's feeling confident in himself.
Right, and that's Cole Geezer who's behind the plate, meeting up with O'Malley there. So now we'll do it again. Pitches up and it's high and out. And that'll be a ball, 1-0 count. Batting for the Royal Blue Dogs here right now will be Will Johnson, the second baseman.
Will Johnson is an imposing figure standing in the right-hander's batter's box from Mount Marty University.
And that'll be a strike. So the runners will retreat to their bases. And we'll see a even 1-1 count here for Will Johnson and O'Malley. Eyeing down second. Pitch is up, and contact is made into center field. We'll put the squeeze on it. Silliman will run from second to third, and now we got runners on the corners. We've got Bees on first and Silliman on third. And now batting for the Royal Blue Dogs will be Carson Kriguski, who wasn't actually he wasn't actually planned to have played today. It was going to be Samuel Peterson, who not sure if he was sick, but he's not able to be here today. So it'll be Carson Kriguski, and he'll be playing in left field today too.
Yeah, Pearson was scratched from the lineup. No show today. Wonder if he's doing okay. But yeah, we got Kriguski batting in the 4-hole.
That pitch is out, so it'll be a 1-0 count to start for Kriguski. Runner on first, runner on third, 1 out. So a little bit of wiggle room here for the Royal Blue Dogs to hopefully haul on a run here in the bottom of the first.
Kind of surprised we haven't seen Bees run to second yet and take that free bag. This would technically be a defensive indifference here. You've got to think that the Blue Dogs would want to take advantage of that and get 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out.
And he will run to second, and he'll get that stolen base. And now we have runners in scoring position, as you just said, Ethan, second and third. You're psychic. I'm
a psychic. It's just, played baseball for so long, you kind of understand the game, and you kind of feel like you can predict what happens before it even happens. But, yeah, that's right on cue.
So now runner on second and third. Krugolski takes a swing at that and he'll foul behind him. So the count will now even out to 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the first.
2-2. O'Malley can really throw you anything here. He's got a pitch to work with, although he doesn't want to work a full count because that puts a lot of pressure that you don't need on the pitcher. But it'll be interesting to see where he can locate this pitch and if he wants to give him a chance to get this ball potentially in play.
Just now in the 2-2 count. O'Malley will reload here against Krugolski. Pitches up, takes a big swing at that, and he will be struck out as he walks back to the dugout. So now there are 2 outs, runner on second, runner on third for the Royal Blue Dogs. Hoping to haul in a run here early in this game. Next up is the extra hitter Jackson Van Pelt, the southpaw, who will take the at-bat.
Gotta love a little southpaw action.
Cleanup hitter will maybe offset, but he pitches it back to second baseman, who thought he would have had an easy out. It looks like he wasn't really paying attention there, but he dodges the tag, and he will be safe on second.
Bees caught a break right there. O'Malley had him sleeping. He was sleeping on a Tempur-Pedic out there. He was so asleep. I mean, I don't know how you don't get him out there. That's tough.
And O'Malley put his hands on his head, and he throws a high pitch over his head there. He was really shocked he wasn't able to get that easy out and close out the inning, but I don't really understand what happened. The shortstop wasn't really paying attention, but yeah, he really could have just had an easy out there. So he pitches and he fouls that one back behind him into the fencing. Geezer gives him a new ball, and we'll do a 1-2 count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
O'Malley looks comfortable out there. He's really channeling his stuff. You can tell he's out on the mound with a lot of confidence. He trusts his stuff, and he really trusts the relationship between him and his catcher.
And that one is cracked up to third base, where he puts the squeeze on it, and that'll close out this first inning. No runs, but 2 hits for the Royal Blue Dogs, as their players will run back to their respective dugouts. Please stay tuned, for this is the Corn Belt League Network. We welcome you back to Seymour Smith Park here, where the Royal Blue Dogs and the Crop Dusters are facing off. The Crop Dusters are next up at the at-bat. They'll start us off in the top of the second. Batting for the Crop Dusters will be Parker Mooney, the second baseman. Watches that pitch go above him. That'll be a ball, starting off the count 1-0.
And Augustana's coming off of a run where they made it to the Division II National Championship Tournament in North Carolina. So it's good to see these Augustana guys out here participating in the Corn Belt League season after having such a great spring season with the Augustana Vikings.
And the count is now even to 1-1 for Mooney. Facing off Ryan Maloney, he cracks that one over the first base coach's head as he ducks under that one. That'll be a foul ball. The count's now 1-2.
Got to keep your head on a swivel over there if you're West King. That ball could be coming at you Gotta make sure you're staying aware. Gotta make sure your digits are locked in over there.
And baseball is one of those sports where you gotta be aware at all times if you're a player, or if you're a commentator, or if you're a visitor, or if
you're a fan.
If you're a fan.
I mean,
cameraman, everything.
You gotta
be aware at all times.
You got to be locked in 100% of the time. There's no slacking up here. No slacking anywhere at J.J. Isaacson Field. It's locked in.
I mean, even if you're driving by in the parking lot and you're planning to go into the nearby water park, I mean, you got to be careful of your car. And that ball is popped foul, and he'll put the squeeze on. The first baseman will put the squeeze on that one to get the easy out for the Royal Blue Dogs with the first out of the inning.
That's exactly what Ryan Malone wants. Those are the types of pitches that enforce that type of contact, right? You get jammed inside, forces them to pop it up down the first base line. That's an easy out right there for Butler.
And he threatens a bunt attempt, but he doesn't take it. So Malone will pitch again. The count's 1-0 with one out on top of the second. Makes contact with that one, but it's fouled behind him over the fencing and over the bleachers. Again, you got to be aware at all times, fans. I think that went just over the bleachers, but
this is where you cue the good old, if you return the ball to the concession stands, you get a piece of bubble gum.
Yes.
Thing from our great PA announcer, Connor Shelton.
Connor Sheldon, who's done great work for the Corn Belt League. That one's fouled out into left field. Yeah, Connor Shelton, he's a guy that we all love here in the press box. Fans love to hear his voice whenever they come to a Corn Belt game. He really does a lot for this Corn Belt program.
He really does. He's a really talented guy, and he's a super nice guy, so we love having him up here.
That pitch is inside. Almost hits Noah Strizek, and the count will even out to 2-2.
He's a Wildcat from Wayne State, one of the few Wayne State guys not on the Bombers this year.
And that one is popped into right center field deep, and runner is running to second. He's running to third. He's not. The second baseman isn't to haul that one, and so the shortstop will take it. That'll be a triple base hit for Noah Strizek. So with one out in the inning, we already have a runner in scoring position for the Crop Dusters, who are taking a hopeful hit and maybe even to haul in a run this inning.
It's about as perfect as you're going to get. Splits the 8-9 gap out there in the outfield. Does a really, 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 really good job of ball placement. That's honestly perfect. It rolls all the way to the wall. That's a triple. Can't do much better than that.
And that pitch is inside for Ryan Malone. Both the pitchers facing off today have an ERA of 0. Malone has a little less experience in the season than O'Malley. That one's fouled right over the press box, hits the ceiling above us. But both of these pitchers have had 0 earned runs this year, so it'll really be a battle of the pitchers.
It really will. These are the types of games I love. I was a pitcher. I know what it's like to go through a game and battle it out there on the mound, and I love these types of games.
So the count is 1-1 with one out in the top of the second. Pitches up for Ryan Malone. Batter, and it's low. That'll be a ball, and the batter signals third baseman, stay over there. It's not worth it.
You just got to tell him to stay where he's at. Don't need the extra steps. If he was wearing an Apple Watch, his Apple Watch would be pretty sad.
Yes, and that one is popped into left field where he hauls that one in. Third baseman will run to home where he slides in safe, not able to tag him out. That pitch is the throw's a little bit high, and that'll be a run for the Crop Dusters to start off this game with a 1-0 lead.
That was almost a little miscommunication out there between the shortstop and the left fielder, Krogowski and Bees, but Krogowski did a good job catching it, hop step, getting it to the plate, but the third baseman Stribling cut that off and threw it to the plate. I honestly think that might have kind of slowed the play down a little bit, and that allowed him to score. But nonetheless, it's great heads-up base running. That's a great hit. You had to get the ball in the outfield, and he did exactly that. So that's going to be a sac fly for Unger, and the Crop Dusters are up.
So Strizek is the one who will haul in that run for the Crop Dusters. And now at bat is Cole Geezer, the catcher, facing off of Ryan Malone on the mound. And he makes contact with that, who Malone drops it, but still swings it to first, and that'll be an out, and that'll close out this inning for the Crop Dusters, who will walk back to their dugout. 1-0 lead for the Crop Dusters as we are now in the middle of the second. Please stay tuned for the Corn Belt League Network. Belt League Network, where we will now start the bottom of the second, where the Royal Blue Dogs will take the at-bat against the Crop Dusters, who just scored in the top of the second for a sack off of a sack fly. It was Noah Strizek who was able to pull in the run for the Crop Dusters to take the early lead. So now O'Malley is pitching, and that will be a strike, as it is Logan Stribling who's at bat, who took the swing at that one. The pitch is up, and Stribling will take another big swing at that. Still no contact, so it'll be an 0-2 count for O'Malley.
Do have to apologize. Our graphic on the screen is flip-flop. The Crop Duster should be on top, and the Blue Dog should be on the bottom. But yeah, that is our apologies.
So it is the bottom of the second, but the Blue Dogs are the ones at bat. So now the count is 1-2 for Stribling. So Stribling will take another big swing at that, but no dice, as he will walk back to the dugout. That's a strikeout for O'Malley. And now we will see Garrett Simpson, the DH for the Royal Blue Dogs, take the at-bat.
Quick little note. So they do an around the horn on a strikeout where the catcher throws to third throws to second throws to short throws to third. That was the cleanest looking around the horn I've ever seen. That was nice. That would make any baseball player very happy.
The Crop Dusters might they should argue for an extra run for that then.
They will have to win an end of the season award for that.
Okay.
I will present that. That was beautiful.
Well, I'll keep in the back of my mind what is the cleanest
around the horn
that I've seen. So
that was actually the name of our podcast, which will be coming back hopefully next week. We will get that podcast back up and running, and we will give you a June Player of the Month award showcase.
And Garrett Simpson takes another big swing at that one, but no contact, so it'll be a 1-2 count against O'Malley here, who's been pitching pretty well this game so far. I mean, it's only been one inning, but he seems to have a lot of control on the mound. Well, that pitch is out, but the count is now even to 2-2.
You mentioned control out there on the mound. I would completely agree. He's been showing a lot of control, a lot of determination, a lot of confidence out there on the mound. And this is what an ace looks like out on the bump.
So that pitch is high and out. It'll be another ball. The count is now full, 3-2. Facing off of O'Malley facing Garrett Simpson, the DH. Taking a low stance. Simpson takes a swing at it and no contact. That'll be another strikeout for O'Malley. Again, showing his control on the mound. There's now 2 outs with no men on any bases for the Crop Dusters.
And it looks like he's just got a simple 3-pitch mix. He can go fastball, changeup, and maybe drop a slider in there. And he's doing it very effectively. He's working his location. He's not hitting the same location twice. He does a good job mixing eye levels, and he's really looking really dominant out there.
So O'Malley pitches that inside, and he'll swing at that one. That'll be a strike, 0-1 count. In the batter's box is Jake Butler, the first baseman for the Royal Blue Dogs. And that pitch is high and out. So that'll be a ball. Counts now 1-1. Pitch is up, and it's a swing for Butler and no contact. 1-2 count, 2 strikes for Butler.
We'll see if this payoff pitch from O'Malley can really kind of tell us if he's really feeling truly dialed in or not.
And he fouls that one back over the fence right. So we'll do it again, 1-2 count once more. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch is up, and he fouls that one over to the bullpen out of the park here, and we'll do it again, 1-2 count once more.
Good job by staying alive by Jake Butler. He's been putting the lumber out there, and he's been forcing O'Malley to really work deep into his bag.
He takes a big line to that one. That'll be foul once more, but Butler is just not struggling with not making contact here. He's putting contact on most of the pitches, and even though it's a 1-2 count, I believe this will be the 7th pitch at bat for O'Malley for this batter here.
That was crushed. That ball was very close to staying in play. That ball was demolished down the left field line.
So Butler takes a low swing at that one, but it'll be another strikeout for O'Malley, who's able to easily close out this inning for the Crop Dusters with no base hits here. So we'll switch sides here. The Crop Dusters will take an at-bat here, going back to the top of the 3rd. We are the Corn Belt League Network, and we'll see you shortly. We welcome you back here at Seymour Smith Park at J.J. Isaacson Field, where we will see the top of the 3rd inning. The Royal Blue Dogs will take the outfield, and the Crop Dusters will be batting here. And so first for the Crop Dusters will be number 7, Andy Cisneros, who was the first in the lineup in batters for the Crop Dusters. So it's a full reset here in the top of the 3rd. That pitch is high for the man on the mound, Ryan Malone. So we'll start off the count 1-0.
He's going into his third inning of work, and he's only given up that one run and that one hit.
And that'll be a strike there, 1-1. Yeah, Malone is, although giving up one run and one hit, he still has also shown a lot of control. Not as much as we talked about O'Malley having for the Crop Dusters, but he's seeming to have a pretty decent day here for the Royal Blue Dogs. And that will be a ball. So we'll have 2 balls, 1 strike, 2-1 count with 0 outs. The pitch is up, and it'll be a strike. So now we'll even out the count to 2-2. And Cisneros watches that pitch go by him. And he fouls that one short and behind him. Catch will grab the one back, and we'll do it again. Another 2-2 count on the top of this third inning.
The College World Series, Florida's up 5-1 on Oral Roberts in the top of the 5th. So that as Florida, who's got arguably 2 of the best players in college baseball, or 2 of the top college baseball players.
That ball is lined into right field, but it'll be just foul. So we will do another 2-2 count, but really good contact there for Cisneros. A very deep ball that, just outside the foul lines, that could have been a big hit for the Crop Dusters. But we'll do it again. It's another 2-2 count. And that pitch was let go. The catcher couldn't get control of that behind the plate. So that'll be another ball. So it'll be a 3-2 count, full count for the Crop Dusters here. The pitch is up, and he takes a big swing at that, and no contact. That is a strikeout for Ryan Malone. First strikeout here in the top of the third inning. So 1 out, no balls, no strikes, as Cody Rust will take the next at-bat for the Crop Dusters.
Rust is 0 for 1 with the strikeout and his first at-bat in the first inning. We'll see if he can get back on track here as he looks to work off Malone, who, like I mentioned earlier, has given up the 1 run, but he's only given up the 1 hit. He's looked pretty good. This has been a very good pitcher's-style game.
That pitch is a little out there for Rust, so that'll be a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Malone not giving up many hits, only 1 so far. He did give up 2 walk batters, but he was able to close out that inning since both of those were in the first. And that one's fouled behind Rust, so that'll be a strike. So we'll have a even 1-1 count here with 1 out. That pitch is a little inside. The ump stares that one down. So that'll be another ball. 2-1 count for Malone here against Rust. Malone winds up, the pitch is up, and it's inside. An inside strike. So the count is now even to 2-2. Slow windup for Malone, and he makes short contact to the second baseman, who swings that to first, and Blue will call him out. So that'll be the second out of the Crop Dusters. A close call there, and it's indeed an out. So now we will see Cade Perry take the at-bat for the Crop Dusters, and Malone will hold off another hit, which, closely could have been, but it was not. So now we'll have a 0 ball, 0 strike, 2 out situation here. That pitch is outside. It'll be a ball. 1-0 to start off Perry's at bat.
On that play, Will Johnson, Butler, that ball died in the grass. Johnson had really good and really quick glove-to-hand transition. Made the really close out.
Cade Perry was walked in the first inning. win his first at bat, so this will be his second. And he gets an early lead in a 2-0 count. That pitch is high and in the box, so that'll be a strike for Malone. So now his count will be 2-1. That pitch is inside. So it'll be a 3-1 count for Perry here.
I don't think that pitch was very much inside, but it still caught that inner part of the plate. We'll see if Malone can kind of respond here and give one of his best pitches.
Right, and Perry cracks that one to the third baseman, who slings it to first, and Perry kind of loses faith in his ability to get a base hit there as he will accept the force out on first. So now players will run back to the respective dugouts, and we'll go to the middle of the third inning here. And we will see the Crop Dusters take the outfield. Royal Blue Dogs take the at-bat. This is the Corn Belt League Network. Isaac Royal Blue Dogs will take the at-bat here in the bottom of the third. It's a beautiful day out here in Seymour Smith. The sun is starting to set, so we're getting a little bit of that golden hour here. It's a real nice day for baseball.
There's nothing that beats a sunset over Seymour Smith. I can confidently tell you that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of beautiful nights here in these past couple weeks of Corn Belt League baseball. Cardoff Smith will take a swing at that one, but no contact, so it'll be an 0-1 count. And that pitch is a little bit high, so now it'll be a 1-1 count. O'Malley winds up, tries to check his swing there, Smith, but he is not able to. And it's actually, Clayton Lewitt, who is batting for the Royal Blue Dogs, who tries to check his swing there but makes no contact. So that'll be a strike, 1-2 count. Takes another swing at that, and he will be struck out by O'Malley. Frustrated in his attempt to swing there, as he thought that would definitely be a ball if he hadn't. So that'll be an easy strikeout for O'Malley, and we'll start off with 1 out for the Royal Blue Dogs.
O'Malley's working quick. He's usually can force an out in the first 3 to 4 or 5 pitches in the at-bat, and he just does a really good job of working quickly, working efficiently.
And that one is grounded to the pitcher, O'Malley, and he hits that to first, and that will be another quick out on the Royal Blue Dogs. So now 2 batters, 2 outs. We'll see TJ Silliman, who had a base hit single earlier today in the first inning. We'll see him take another at-bat here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
Pitchers can field, too. He got off the mound quick, and he ran pretty much 3/4 of the way to the first baseman there to deliver the ball nice and confidently with that underhand toss. So Robert O'Malley is dialed in right now.
And that one is grounded to first.
That's a very close play.
He's going to call, the ump on first is going to call that one foul. It was a very close call there. So it'll be a 0-1 count for TJ Silliman, and he'll take the batter's box again.
That's extremely close. I mean, that ball was dribbling on the line, but I think it just did hit the line. We might have to go to review. We might have to call the officials from New York to review that one.
Yeah, here at the Corn Belt League, we have lots of access to the New York officials, so we'll do that, get a good look at it. And TJ Silman evens out the count to 1-1.
We've got a rigorous replay system here at the Corn Belt League.
That pitch is inside. It'll now be a 2-1 count.
It goes through a couple levels of testing, right? It goes through different levels of review. First it goes to Connor, then it goes to us, and then it finally gets approved by Casey up here.
And Silliman takes a big swing at that. No contact, so now it'll be a 2-2 count with 2 outs.
We have 100% accuracy, I will say.
VAR.
Okay, maybe 100%'s a little much. I'd say maybe 90%. We have missed a couple.
It's not common, though. It's not common, though. We keep it professional here at the Corn Belt League.
We do, and it's a team effort. It's a team effort up here.
It's now full count for Silliman. He checks his swing, and he will say he didn't swing at that one at first, so he will take a walk to first. It was a really close call there. He almost brought that swing all the way around across the plate, but first base ump said he won't. He said he didn't, so he will take a walk to first, and now we will see Luke Bees take the next at-bat.
That's one of the few at-bats that we've seen O'Malley kind of, I guess, not strike somebody out or get a ground out in the first couple pitches. We'll see how he can respond here with Bees, and he's got to deal with the runner on first and Silliman now, so it'll be interesting to see.
And that pitch is low and gets back behind the plate, and TJ Silliman will take the easy steal from first to second.
And now the Royal Blue Dogs have something cooking here with runners in scoring position. It'll be interesting to see how Bees can get this runner in. Bees on the season does not have an RBI, so it'll be interesting to see if he can record his first RBI of the 2023 campaign in a very crucial bottom of the third spot.
Yeah, the Royal Blue Dogs are scoreless here in the bottom of the third, but now with TJ Silliman at second, they hope to do just that. Bees pops that one back into right field where he'll put the squeeze on it, and that'll end the third inning. Crop Dusters, 1 run. Royal Blue Dogs, 0. Crop Dusters have 1 hit, and the Royal Blue Dogs have 2, as we'll wrap up this third inning. We hope to see you shortly. Stay tuned. We are the Corn Belt League Network. We welcome you back here at J.J. Isaacson Field, where the Crop Dusters will now start off the top of the 4th inning here. Tyler Bishop, the DH for the Crop Dusters, will take this at-bat. And that first pitch will be a ball.
Tyler Bishop from Southeastern Community College, like mentioned earlier, is one of those JUCO products. That ball's hit on the ground to short.
And short swings that high to first, and that'll be an out against Tyler Bishop. So the Royal Blue Dogs will get an early out here at the top of this 4th inning.
Both pitchers are working effectively in the first 4 pitches of the at-bat. That's when they're really showcasing their best stuff. They can get an out in the first to 4th pitch, and that's really kind of moving this game move along. But this is definitely a pitcher's dream of a game right here.
Right, and that pitch is low and out against Max Pfizer for the Crop Dusters. So the count will be 1-0. And he takes a swing at that one with no contact, so now the count will even out to 1-1. I believe we've actually had a shift here for the Royal Blue Dogs. It is Logan Stribling who's now pitching in the top of the 4th.
Correct. Yeah, we see Logan Stribling, and then we'll see Warner move over to 3rd for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And that ball is fouled back towards the Royal Blue Dogs dugout. And it'll be a 1-2 count for the Royal Blue Dogs. They took out Ryan Malone to put in a little shift around for Logan Stribling now on the mound. But Ryan Malone had given up his first earned run of the season and a hit in his 3 innings today.
Hunter Warner takes Stribling's spot at 3rd. Hunter Warner from Edison State Community College out of Ohio, Piqua, Ohio. Nice little jaunt for Hunter Warner to Omaha, Nebraska.
That ball's blooped over second to center. And he'll get a base hit for the Crop Dusters. So now the Crop Dusters have a man on first, and now taking the at-bat will be second baseman Parker Mooney.
Parker Mooney, the lefty working on the righty. This should be advantage hitter. Takes that first pitch and skies it.
Skies it to center field where he puts the squeeze on it. So Max Pfizer will stay on first. And that's a quick 2 outs for the Royal Blue Dogs here. Next up is the left fielder Noah Strezik, who hit a base hit triple at his first at bat in the bottom of the second, or sorry, the top of the second, and he was able to haul in a run, and that's why the Crop Dusters here have a 1-0 lead. Stribling winds up, and we have a runner from first to second where shortstop loses the ball there, so that'll be a stolen base for Max Pfizer.
Really good jump by Pfizer. He read that pitch perfectly. Good pop time from Dumont behind the plate, but Pfizer had a really good jump. I think he would have beat it anyway, despite the fact of the throw being on target or not from Dumont, but that was really good base running right there by Pfizer.
So now the Crop Dusters have a runner in scoring position on second. And Stribling will throw the ball a little high. It'll be a 1-1 count.
This is kind of the time for the Crop Dusters to add some insurance here. Although there is 2 outs, they do have a runner in scoring position. We'll see if they can kind of break this game open.
The pitch is up and contact is made, but it's a little foul. Goes right over the fencing. So it'll be a 1-2 count for the Crop Dusters here.
This would be huge for Stribling to get out of this inning. Because, yeah, like you said, you don't want to have any more runs really come across the board here for the Crop Dusters. You want to keep this within reach if you're the Blue Dogs. So it's a huge pitch.
And that is a strikeout for Stribling in his first inning pitched of the day. He's able to close out this inning, even though there is a runner in scoring position on second. So we're going to close out the top of this fourth inning, go to the middle of the fourth. Please stay tuned. This is the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at J.J. Isaacson in the bottom of the fourth, where the Royal Blue Dogs are up at bat. Batting for the Royal Blue Dogs is number 14, Will Johnson, the second baseman, who had a fly out in the first inning, and he'll watch that pitch go by him, but it'll be a strike, 0-1 count.
And we'll see Robert O'Malley go out there for his fourth inning of work. He started the game, and right now with how he's been rolling, it looks like he could go at least another inning or so, as he just continues to pile up the strike zone, work locations, north, south, east, west. I mean, he could fill up a compass. I mean, he's just really dominating out there. He looks comfortable. He looks confident. He understands what he can and can't do. And this is a pitcher's dream.
He's hitting every cardinal direction, including northeast. That one's a little high and out, and that'll be a ball, 2-1 count for O'Malley.
O'Malley hasn't gotten himself into a lot of these counts. He's usually been 1-2, 0-2, 2-2. So we'll see.
Right, a lot of strikeouts and groundouts for O'Malley. So that one is fouled right over the catcher's head, so the count will even out to 2-2 for Will Johnson here, who's hoping to make something happen for the Royal Blue Dogs, who are currently down 1-0 after giving up a run in the top of the second to the Crop Dusters off of a sac fly, and that is a strikeout for O'Malley once more. Johnson will walk back to the dugout, and that'll be another strikeout for O'Malley, who, like we said, is showing so much control today. A lot of groundouts, a lot of strikeouts here. So it'll be the top of the fourth, 1 out.
That was the fifth strikeout of the ball game for O'Malley, as we're keeping a running total up here. He's had 5 strikeouts on the day, and he has yet to allow an earned run. 6, that's my bad, 6 strikeouts.
So O'Malley will face off Carson Krogolski. And Krogolski will take a big swing at that one, but no contact. It'll be a strike, so the count is now 1-1 with 1 out on the inning. No runners on the base is not an uncommon sight here for O'Malley. He hasn't seen too much. He's only given up 2 hits, but no runs tonight.
Krogolski going with the no batting gloves. Look here, he's going with the old school no batting gloves. Just grip it and rip it.
That pitch is a little high. Yeah, you worry for Krogolski's, his blisters maybe. I mean, I was never a baseball player myself, but I do know anytime I'm playing golf and I've got a glove on, your hands are just getting shredded up.
Oh yeah.
And I can't imagine it's much different in baseball here.
It really isn't. As an enjoyer of both golf and baseball, it's kind of the same. Like, your hands can really get shredded if you don't wear a glove while you're golfing, and it's kind of the same if you're swinging without batting gloves.
Maybe Krogolski, who wasn't even expecting to play today, just didn't even bring his gloves just because he wasn't expecting it. That's a strikeout for O'Malley. And a second out for the top of this fourth inning. Krogolski, the gloveless batter, will walk back to his dugout, and we will see Jackson Van Pelt, the extra hitter for the Royal Blue Dogs, take the right batter's box against O'Malley.
2 strikeouts in the inning for Robert O'Malley. That's his 7th K of the game, and he's gotten some looking, some backwards Ks, some forward-facing Ks, so he's really been doing it all out there on the mound.
So that'll be a first pitch, first strike for O'Malley. The count is 0-1, 0 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs on the top of the fourth inning. Sorry, bottom of the fourth inning. As once again, our graphics here are flip-flopped today. It is the bottom of the fourth inning. Blue Dogs are at the at-bat here.
Blue Dogs are the home team. We have them on the graphic as the away team.
Van Pelt took a big swing at that one. He's clearly frustrated at himself if you look at his body language there. Looks his head up to the sky thinking, why did I swing at that, or why did I not hit that ball? Because that was something he definitely wanted to have. So now it's a 1-2 count, and he fouls that one back and over our heads.
This is the second time through the order for O'Malley. These Blue Dogs hitters should be picking up this hitter by now. They should be reading the release point, reading the speed, reading how the ball comes off of his hand, the rotations. Everything that O'Malley's doing on the mound, the Blue Dogs should know the second time through the order.
And that is hit in between third and shortstop, and he's not able to grab that one. That'll be a single for Jackson Van Pelt. They're not able to haul in that pop-up, and they are disappointed there. That will be an error. Scores here.
That'll be an E5. That is kind of a tough play, but it still hit his glove. You got to make that play.
Right.
You're camped underneath that. That's a play that you got to make. That's an error that's going to go down in the scorebook. So that would have gotten us out of the inning. That would have gone us to the top of the 5th. But nonetheless, we'll do 2 outs once again.
All right, a little bit of miscommunication between Perry and Russ there. It was not too hard of a hit ball that, in theory, shouldn't have been too hard to haul in, but in the game of baseball, there's so much stuff going on all at once. That ball's grounded to shortstop, hits that to the second baseman for the easy out, and we'll close out the bottom of the 4th inning here at J.J. Isaacson Field. So no runs for either team since the top of the top of the second for the Crop Dusters, who have a 1-0 lead here at the end of the 4th inning. Please stay tuned. We are the Corn Belt League Network. We are back here at J.J. Isaacson Field, where the Royal Blue Dogs are facing off the Crop Dusters, who the Crop Dusters are up 1-0 right now after we finish a scoreless fourth inning.
I'm going to knock on wood, but this has been a very fast-moving game where we've been playing for about an hour and 5 minutes, and we are through 4 full.
So flying through this game, majority is done. That ball is grounded past the pitcher into second base, swings that to first, and that'll be an out. Early out for the Royal Blue Dogs, who, aside from one run, have showed pretty good defense tonight.
So that's going to be an interesting ruling. That's a 1-4-3 double or put out right there. Hit off the pitcher, goes to the second baseman. Second baseman gets the out at first. Excuse me. That's a 1-4-3 put out on a ground ball.
It's pretty uncommon put out there. You don't really see that very often. Pitcher, second base, first base. So it'll be a 1-0 count facing off the Crop Dusters. Now batting for the Crop Dusters is Logan. Sorry, wrong team there. Now facing off for the batting for the Crop Dusters is Geezer, the catcher, behind the plate.
And the pitching today has just been off the charts. Now it's Stribling. We saw Malone go 3 full innings of really good work. We've seen O'Malley go 4 full innings of phenomenal work. And now we see Stribling out there loading up the strike zone, forcing contact. It's truly a sight to see.
And for many people who aren't baseball fans, you know, you look at the score. We're almost a majority of this game is wrapped up. 4 innings played in a 7th inning Corn Belt game. But the score is 1-0, so many people who aren't fan of baseball in general will think, well, you know, this is a boring game. It's 1-0.
Yeah.
But, you know, you really got to watch more than just score and runs and home runs. You got to watch a battle of the pitchers, and that is an own story within itself.
I would completely agree. You know, pitchers are kind of what makes the game go, and these pitchers have been phenomenal today.
And that ball is popped straight up, and Stribling will haul that one in. And that'll be a pop out for Geezer. So now, quick 2 outs, top of this 5th inning. So we'll go back to the top of the order. It'll be the center fielder, Andy Cisneros.
Andy Cisneros from Golden West College, based out of Huntington Beach, California. That is over 1,500 miles away from Omaha. So he had quite the trek to get here. It's a public community college in Huntington Beach, California.
And that's something really special about the Corn Belt League. You know, it's a local summer baseball league, but we are really able to haul in players from all over the country. You know, we've got players that are staying here in Nebraska, but we also got players, you know, from states like California, you know, all over the Midwest, but also on the West Pacific coast too. And that pitch is a little low for Stribling, so it'll be 2 balls, 1 count, and 2 outs facing off Cisneros.
The exact mileage is 1,553 miles from Seymour Smith to Huntington Beach, California.
It's a pretty long drive. Exactly 1 day, 24 hours.
That is exactly 1 day. That is a very long trip. That is a 3-hour and 15-minute flight with plane tickets starting at $286. I'd make the trip.
I'm not sure. I think I might have to research Huntington Beach a little bit more if I'm willing to sacrifice $286.
Is there a beach there? I mean, if your name is Huntington Beach, you got to have a beach, right?
I really hope so. I mean, some names are misleading like that. You know, we've got Mount Crescent pretty close here, which is not a mount. It's a ski resort, quotes, but it's really just a hill. So, you know, sometimes names are misleading. So we may just have to go out there to Huntington Beach to find out for ourselves.
Corn Belt trip.
Yes. The count is now full for Stribling. 3-2 count with 2 outs. And he'll watch that ball go by him. Cisneros throws his bat back to the dugout, and he'll take the walk there to first. So now Cody Zrust will take the at-bat.
That's a really good at bat. Stribling's been locked in so far. You know, you can't expect Stribling to be perfect out there, but this is the opportunity for the Crop Dusters. You got the top of the fifth. You got the top of your lineup. Here you got your 2-hole hitter. So this is the opportunity with 2 outs. You got to get something cooking here.
So Russ takes a big swing at that, but no die, so it'll be an 0-1 count to start him off. Cisneros on first. That's his of his 3 at-bats. He's had one walked base, a strikeout, and another walked base. So 2 of his 3 at-bats, he's been walked to first. And Stribling attempts to make the pickoff attempt there at first, but he will not be able to tag Cisneros in time. And that pitch is a strike, so now we'll have an 0-2 count.
See the payoff pitch. I expect something maybe off speed from Stribling here, see if he can kind of get Drust out in front of something.
And we'll have a runner, Cisneros, from first to second. He will make it in time. They're not able to grab that ball on second base, but whether he would have been able to grab it or not, he would not have been able to catch Cisneros' speed. So now he will be at second base in scoring position, and we'll still have Cody Zurst at bat with a 1-2 count with 2 outs at the top of the fifth.
I thought the pitch was almost in there for a strike. It looked like it was in there, but the umpire decided it was not.
So Stribling will wind up again, and Zurst will check his swing, and we will see a 2-2 count in 2 outs of the inning at the top of the fifth, or 2 outs at the top of the 5th inning. The pitch is up, and it is high, so now the count will be brought back up to full. Zurst has shown a great eye here. Taking 2 swings and then watching 3 balls go right by him. So he'll bring this count back up to full in a time when they need it with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And Stribling will watch himself there as he's about to wind up for the pitch, but notice Cisneros is getting one too many steps off a second for comfort, so he'll do it again. And that pitch is high and inside near his face, so he will walk to first. And now we have men on first and second. Zurst on first, Cisneros on second. So now Cade Perry will take the at-bat here.
Cade Perry, like mentioned, from Washburn University, can break this game open. Looks like Stribling might be starting to lose command of his fastball. That was a good at-bat from Zurst, though. Started 0-2, went from 0-2 to 1-2 to 2-2, 3-2, and then he took ball 4 high and inside. That's exactly what you want to do. We have a meeting amongst the minds out there on the mound. See if head coach Vern Husty can go out there, calm his pitcher down, control him. You've only got to get one more out, and you're going to the bottom of the 5th. So you got to just kind of calm him down, rebuild confidence, see if he can work against Cade Perry, which Cade Perry, if I'm not mistaken, is either 0 for 1 or 1 for 1 today in this ball game. So it'll be interesting to see how he attacks Cade Perry. Cade Perry is an intimidating presence in that batter's box. Goes to Washburn University. He plays in the MIAA. Cade Perry, 6'4", 210 pounds. He's from Elkhorn South, so he's got a little bit of that Class A baseball. We've got a new pitcher out there on the mound.
I believe that will be Logan Lappe Brinkman who will be taking the mound. I misnamed the new pitcher for the Royal Blue Dogs earlier. It's actually Cardiff Smith who will be taking the mound here.
From Dordt University, Cardiff. Electric fastball, good breaking ball. He's really kind of the do-it-all guy. It'll be interesting to see how much he actually gets to work. He's coming in with 2 outs. It'll be interesting to see if they kind of work him through the 6th inning, the next inning, and then kind of bring in a new pitcher for the 7th. Potentially maybe close out the game, but it'll be interesting. He's kind of that do-it-all pitcher. But, yeah, speaking of which, my stomach growls. I'm hungry. I'm feeling a little hungry.
You know, top of the 6th. Top of the 5th inning. That's typically when Ethan McCormick here starts to get a little bit hungry.
The stomach growls. That's without a doubt. Yeah.
It does. And that pitch is up and over Cade Perry's head there. A little bit of wild pitch behind and above him. You know, I was fortunate enough to have a hot dog before this game.
Oh man, that looked like a good hot dog.
You know, I've always been a big ketchup fan for my hot dogs.
Okay.
But I told you earlier, I used to hate mustard all my life, but now I can't eat a hot dog without it.
That's interesting. I very much dislike mustard. I am not a mustard guy. Barbecue sauce on a hot dog, though, that hits different.
I cannot disagree. I think barbecue sauce on just about anything just can never really go wrong.
I agree.
You know, I have been able to enjoy the company of mustard as Smith hits Cade Perry there and walks him to first. I have always I am a fan of mustard now, but I don't think I'll ever be able to hop on the relish train.
Oh,
personally.
relish, no.
I don't think so.
I agree. You know, relish just should not just exist. It shouldn't exist, in my opinion.
Agree. It's green, and it doesn't look appetizing.
Right.
And it tastes like it looks. It's not appetizing,
right.
in my personal opinion.
Right. You a fan of the chili dogs?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I'd rather just have a plain hot dog
okay.
in my opinion. I don't know. I'm a little basic, but
I get that. I'm 50-50. I'm split on the chili dog.
okay.
Depends.
I won't give it hate as I just demonstrated on my hate for relish.
Yeah, right.
If there's any relish enjoyer fans watching, I am not sorry. I don't like relish.
Someone said mayo on a hot dog and they need to be put in prison. That is just not okay.
That should be illegal. That should be absolutely
mayo on
illegal.
a hot dog? Mayo on a hot dog is just illegal. Of course Connor would like that.
I love a moderate amount of mayo on a sandwich, but that's all it can stay on is a sandwich.
Okay, last thought on the mayo food topic. Mayo is only on chicken sandwiches. Boom. End of discussion. That's the end of discussion.
That's not a bad take.
It definitely does not belong on a hot dog.
We have a Tyler Bishop, the DH, hitting a pop-up foul ball, and it is hauled in by the catcher for
out 4.
An out 4. No, not actually, but that'll wrap up the top of the 5th inning for the Crop Dusters here. We'll go to the middle of the 5th, and we will see you shortly in the bottom of the 5th. This is the Corn Belt League Network. And we welcome you back to the bottom of the 5th inning where the Royal Blue Dogs, the home team, which is different from what our graphics say, that is flip-flopped, but our home team, the Blue Dogs, will take their chance at batting against these Crop Dusters who still have a 1-0 lead. We haven't seen a score from either team since the top of the 2nd inning.
And we see O'Malley go out there for his 5th inning of work, and it doesn't feel like he's been out there that long because every time he goes out there to pitch, that inning is pretty short.
Yeah, his pitch count of tonight has been very low. We're at the bottom of the 5th inning, and we still have plenty of sun, which, you know, at these night games, that's not typical. It's usually getting pretty dark right about now.
And this is the time during the College World Series where the Corn Belt League only plays one game per night, and they play them at 7 o'clock. So by the time this game is over, the sun will definitely still be out.
And that pitch will be a ball, so it'll be a 2-1 count. Batting for the Royal Blue Dogs is number 16, Garrett Simpson, the DH, who has only been struck out by O'Malley today.
I wonder, like, how hard it is being an umpire. I did ump 8U baseball one time. I can say that, add that to my resume, but I wonder how hard it would be to ump, like, college baseball.
Yeah, it's definitely a profession that you're going to get a lot more hate than you're going to get appraisal, just because, you know, there's a lot of angry players, there's a lot of angry fans that just, and parents in more youth baseball that, you know, you make a call that really could go either way. They're going to say names that you don't really like. As O'Malley's going to strike out Simpson here, and we'll see Jake Butler take the at-bat.
8 Ks, 8 strikeouts in the ball game for Robert O'Malley. Tell me you're locked in without telling me you're locked in. I mean, he is dialed. He is like what your TV should be dialed to. The Corn Belt League YouTube, right? He's dialed in.
Exactly. He's more dialed in this game than I think any viewer is. And so he will have another pitch on Jake Butler, who was out in the 2nd inning earlier. And that's a strike. He takes another swing at that one. That'll be an 0-2 count. And O'Malley gets another 0-2 lead to Butler, hoping to get possibly his 9th strikeout on the bottom of the 5th. Well, that pitch is a little bit out there, so that'll be a 1-2 count. First ball for O'Malley. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th.
In the 13 batters that 14 batters that O'Malley has faced, he has thrown 11 first pitch strikes.
And that is another strikeout for O'Malley. He has his 9th strikeout in the bottom of the 5th inning as Butler takes the walk of shame back to the dugout as he takes a big swing at that one. So now we'll see our next batter face off the wrath of O'Malley, who has had himself quite the day. He's absolutely dialed in with 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, he is just dialed. Make that 12 first pitch strikes now. He has faced 15 batters, 12 first pitch strikes. That is absolutely unreal. That is 80% of the batters he has faced, he has thrown a first pitch strike.
I will say this is definitely the best performance of any pitcher I've seen so far in my work here this summer at the Corn Belt League.
I would agree. He has been locked in. I would not have to disagree with you. I would 100% agree that he has been the most dialed-in pitcher from his fastball to his curveball to his changeup that we have ever seen so far, at least on our broadcasts.
And another strikeout for O'Malley, his 10th strikeout of the night in the bottom of the 5th inning. What a performance from O'Malley. He makes it seem so easy with such a little effort. We will close out this 5th inning, and we will see you at the top of the 6th inning shortly, where we will see the Crop Dusters take their at-bat. This is the Corn Belt League Networks. Please stay tuned. welcome you back to Seymour Smith Park. The Crop Dusters will now take the at-bat against the Royal Blue Dogs after a 3-strikeout inning for O'Malley, the pitcher of the Crop Dusters, who has had himself quite the night. One of the best pitching performances of the year. And that ball will be grounded to third, and he will lose it, and he will not be able to make an out there for the Royal Blue Dogs.
That's a tough play for Hunter Warner out there in the hot corner. That ball died in the grass. That's an error. That's going to be an E5. That's the first error of the ball game for the Royal Blue Dogs. That's a tough play, though. The ball dies in the grass. It comes off that little lip in the dirt, between the dirt and the grass. And then he can't make a clean transition from the glove to the hand. I mean, that's 100% an error.
So that'll be the second error in total of the game. 1 E5 for both teams. 1 E5 for the Crop Dusters and 1 for the Blue Dogs. And now we will see the southpaw for the Crop Dusters up at bat, number 17, Parker Mooney. And that pitch will be a strike, so now the count will even out to 1-1 for Cardiff Smith, who was put in the last out of the last inning for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And we just continue to see both pitchers just pile up the strike zone.
Right, we've only seen 4 total hits today and 1 error for both teams. So it's been definitely a battle of the pitchers tonight at J.J. Isaacson. The pitch is up, and that is inside and low. He loses that one, and the man on first will run to second. That is Max Visor with the easy stolen base there. So now he'll put himself in scoring position against the Royal Blue Dogs.
Smells like popcorn up in the press box. I might have to stop and get me a bag somewhere here. That smells pretty good.
Well, this quick-moving game definitely could. That ball is lined deep into right field. It'll go foul, but he absolutely crushed that ball back towards the fence. So we will see ourselves face a 2-2 count here. Cardiff Smith against Parker Mooney.
Couple notes. Parker Mooney took that ball high out of the zone. I mean, that climbed a couple ladders, couple steps on the ladder, and he took that one to right field. Also, Lewitt was on his high horse to get to the corner here to try to get to that ball. Unsuccessful, but he was flying. He was booking it. I would love to see a speed gun out there timing his 40-yard dash. He was booking it down there.
You know, we don't even need a radar for the pitches here. We need one for the runners out in right field. I think that's what we should invest in next with our Corn Belt League finances.
I would agree. I think we got to have a radar gun out here, not just for pitchers like you mentioned, for the fielders and base runners as well.
So it's a full count here for Mooney, and he swings at that one, but that'll be fouled back behind him. So we'll do it again. Runner stays on second, and Mooney will get another look at this one. I believe this is the first left-handed batter that Cardiff Smith will be facing of his. This is his third batter that he's faced tonight. And he takes a big swing out, and that'll be a strikeout for Smith. So Mooney will walk back to his dugout with his other crop dusting teammates, and now we will see Noah Strizek take the at-bat. He's hopefully give Max Pfizer some movement here. He's on second, and the Crop Dusters are hopeful to increase their one-run lead, which they've had for a very long time in this game, since the second inning. They're hopeful to increase that lead more.
I mean, I believe we've seen 16 combined strikeouts between the Crop Dusters and Blue Dogs in this game. So I know I've said it a million times, but this is a pitcher's dream.
As Cardiff Smith winds up, the pitch is up, and that one is popped deep into center field. He'll put the squeeze on that one, and Pfizer on second will stay right where he is. So it'll be a fly out for Noah Strizek, and we'll see Trevor Erger, who has had a a fly out and a ground out tonight. He's hopeful to make his presence felt.
That was just a routine fly ball out there, though, for T.J. Silliman. Did a good job of camping underneath that one. Wonder if he wants some s'mores while he was camping underneath that ball.
Now, I do believe I am witnessing our first dog of the night back by the bullpen. They're not watching, but the dog is watching, but they're not an actual spectator. And that ball's grounded to second. And routine throw to first. That'll close out the 6th inning here for the top of the 6th inning for the Crop Dusters. As we'll wrap things up, we'll get things back to you shortly. We are the Corn Belt League Network. Don't go anywhere. We are back where the Crop Dusters are facing off the Royal Blue Dogs. For a majority of this game, we've seen the same score since the top of the 2nd inning. The Crop Dusters with 1 run, Royal Blue Dogs with 0. So batting for the Royal Blue Dogs is number 5, Dumont, the catcher.
From Bennington, Nebraska. He's a Bennington Badger alum. Happy to know that I know this great, fine young man who has had quite the career already so far at Buena Vista University. He has really been, Mount Marty University. He's been doing a lot. He's very accomplished. Great young man, and I'm happy to see what he's been able to do in the Corn Belt League.
So Cannon Dumont has his first pitch fouled right. He'll take another look at that one. O'Malley is pitching for the Crop Dusters here tonight, and he's had himself the pitching game of the year. He has had 10 strikeouts tonight.
And I don't know if you could hear that on our back talk on our mics, but Connor Shelton just got sauce tossed and Randy Mossed up here.
Connor Shelton is our PA, who we love and appreciate very much. And Cannon Dumont is able to get a base hit single after grounding to third on that hit right there. So we'll now see T.J. Silliman take the at-bat here for the Royal Blue Dogs, who has hit a single. He's been walked. He's had a little bit of everything, but we've seen him on the bases a lot tonight. So with no outs on the inning, he takes a bunt, but it goes behind him, and it will be foul. So we'll retreat here, and it'll be a 0-1 count to start off Silliman's at-bat.
With 6 outs left for the Royal Blue Dogs to get something done, they've got to kind of maybe resort to small ball night. That's exactly what you saw there, as Silliman had to lay down a bunt. Cannon Dumont might be stealing, might be kind of a hit-and-run situation on a bunt. You just got to be careful not to pop it up. That's the last thing you want to do is pop a bunt up. And Dumont doesn't know about it, and he's on second, and the catcher is throwing down to first to tag you up for a double play. So you got to be very careful.
And so Silliman has a little bit of a talk to the third base coach there, maybe about being careful. It'll be a pickoff attempt to first. But everything will stay the same as Dumont is able to get back safely to first. count is 0-1 for O'Malley, and Silliman tries to play a little bit more small ball, goes for a bunt attempt that is going to go under his bat and behind the catcher. So Dumont will steal from first to second, and now he will put himself in scoring position.
So that's kind of an interesting play. It's counted a strike, but the ball gets away anyway, so that's a stolen base for Cannon Dumont. But it was also a bunt swinging, or it's technically a strike swinging since it was a bunt, but that's just an interesting play. Now that takes the bunt out of the option bag for Silliman, because a bunt foul, it's a strikeout. So you've got to put the ball in play or see if he can work back and draw a walk.
All right, so with an 0-2 count, O'Malley is looking to maybe get an 11th strikeout on the night. He's had 10 so far in his 5 innings of pitching. An absolute amazing performance for O'Malley tonight.
And if we remember earlier, he almost picked off a kid at second in the first inning. So we'll see if maybe he can work his magic and see if he can get the pick off at second.
And another bunt attempt. And he will not make it to first in time. He will be out. However, Dumont will be able to take second to third. So now he is on third. There is 1 out on the inning.
That is perfectly executed on an 0-2 count. You know you have to get the ball in play because you know if you foul it off, you're out. So that's perfectly placed bunt right there from Silliman. He put that right in the perfect place. The third baseman had to come up. It forces Dumont to get the easy bag. And now you've got runner on third with 1 out where a fly ball to the outfield could potentially score this game-tying run. We'll see what happens.
Right, and that one for the Blue Dogs is popped up. And the first baseman is not able to put the squeeze on that one. A play that you absolutely need and love to have, but you are not able to haul in. The Crop Dusters could have really changed the entire situation of this inning if they were able to haul that one in. They would have had 2 outs, and they would have felt a lot more safe about that man on third, but instead they'll stay with 1.
I would have to agree. You know, that's a play that the Crop Dusters needed. That would have taken the fly ball sack fly out of question. But now that, you know, you don't catch that, now it gives Bees a chance to go out there and just do it again. He's going to see more pitches here, and he's going to get a good read for O'Malley.
So Breeze will hit that one in between center and right field. A blooper will have a runner come home, and the game is now tied 1-1. Royal Blue Dogs are able to score an inning in the bottom of the 6th after they haven't scored all game.
And this is perfectly placed offense right here for the Blue Dogs. The bunt with an 0-2 count is in play, moves Cannon Dumont over. And then a missed pop-up on the first baseline in foul territory by Unger. And then Bees does a good job of staying true on the next pitch and taking it out. Perfect.
So Bees will put himself on first and tie up the game with that RBI there. An absolute picture-perfect start of the inning for the Royal Blue Dogs here.
Will Johnson is going to have to be extremely selective here. He knows O'Malley's been loading up the strike zone. You've got to think logically here as a hitter. You know O'Malley's going to load up the strike zone. You know he's going to give you pitches that you can possibly hit. But you just got to wait for your one pitch.
The pitch is up from O'Malley. And Will Johnson's going to foul that one behind him. So the count will now be 1-2 with 1 out on the inning for the Royal Blue Dogs.
These next 2 outs are arguably the 2 biggest outs of the game right here for Robert O'Malley. He's really been able to work through the first 5 1/3 innings really unbothered, and now he's feeling a little rattled with the runner on first.
And now the runner from first will run over to second, and the shortstop will haul it in and throw it to first and get an easy out. He will retire Will Johnson. And now with a runner in scoring position once again for the Royal Blue Dogs on second, the Royal Blue Dogs will face 2 outs on the inning.
And we're going to see a pitch hitter here. We're going to see Trace Mahacek come into the ball game. This is the first at-bat he's had in this ball game. He's an RBI machine. They usually will bring him in these high situations where he'll come in and he'll get a base knock. That was a good hit and run, however. That took the double play out of question, and we'll see if Trace can play the hero.
So Trace will hopefully send home the man on second for the Royal Blue Dogs, if you are a Royal Blue Dogs fan. So that first pitch is a ball for O'Malley, which we haven't really been used to. He's had so many first pitch strikes tonight.
Would have to agree, we're not too used to calling the ball
Right.
for O'Malley.
Yeah, O'Malley's pretty much been on the money with everything he's been trying to put together. However, he has given up his first run in this inning, tying up the game. One apiece.
Trace from Doane University. Doane University is an NAIA school, but they've always had a very respectable baseball program. We'll see if he can utilize some of that knowledge and that skill set and piece one up.
So that pitch is going to be a ball for O'Malley. So the count is now 2-1.
I like Trace's approach up there. You don't need to swing the bat until you have to. You got to wait for your pitch. 2-1. He hasn't taken the bat off of his shoulders yet. And O'Malley's, I think he's forcing O'Malley to throw him something that Trace knows he can hit.
Right, Trace is showing some great patience at the plate here. And that is going to be another strike for O'Malley. And the count is now even out to 2-2. So 2-2 count, 2 outs at the bottom of the 6th. It's important, a very important at-bat right here, so that the Royal Blue Dogs can hopefully not lead themselves in a bottom of the 9th situation where they have to score. And that pitch is going to get out of the catcher's control. He's going to hit that to third, where he will not be able to tag the runner out. So it'll now be a full count here for Trace with the runner on third.
What a stop by Cade Perry at third. That was a run-saving pick on the throw down right there by Cade Perry. I mean, that's a play that may get looked at later on in this game, and we will think that saved the run.
So now O'Malley is going to walk Trace. So now we'll have runners on the corners with 2 outs in the bottom of this 6th inning. The Royal Blue Dogs have really pieced together an inning that they really haven't been able to, acquire in these past 5. They've had a run, and now they have runners on first and third, one of which is in scoring position. So this is an inning that they are hoping to capitalize, that they've already done a fair amount of work on.
Jackson Van Pelt can play the hero here. A base hit would be huge.
It would give the Royal Blue Dogs the lead in this game, and he takes a big swing at that one, is not able to make any contact. So swing and a miss for Jackson Van Pelt.
Jackson Van Pelt, swung out of his shoes. He really wanted that pitch.
That pitch is up and over his head. Ducks that one, saves the noggin, and now the count will even out to 1-1. So that pitch is a little low, but he makes great contact on it, but it is fouled behind us. A loud crack of the bat for Van Pelt. So the count is now 1-2, 2 outs. 1 run for each team and runners on the corners. O'Malley attempts to pick off first, or he'll retreat safely. So he'll reset here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For Van Pelt. The pitch is up, and it's low. Van Pelt signals for Bees to stay over there on third. So now the count is even up to 2-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. And the pitch is up. Contact is made towards third base, and it is a little bit foul for Van Pelt. So he'll do it again, 2-2.
Third base coach over here, Vern Hasty. He's got to make that play. The ball
Right.
was right in his wheelhouse. He's got to get over here and make that play. Vern. That's right. That's right there, Vern. That's right there.
Almost what could have been great athleticism from the third base coach. And then Pelt is going to hit that one. Bloop to left field, and a runner will be brought home. Luke Bees is now home, and that is a run for the Blue Dogs, who now taking the lead in this game 2-1. They hadn't seen a run all night until this inning, where they have now taken the lead against the Crop Dusters. So now the Royal Blue Dogs will have a runner on first and on second, and a now comfortable lead as the Crop Dusters have yet to score since the top of the second. And now we'll see a mound visit for O'Malley, who had performed so well tonight, 10 strikeouts, and now hasn't had too great of an inning himself, as he's given up 2 runs and 3 more hits.
This is the moment in the game where we stand up. It gets high intensity. I got to stretch out the legs, too. I'm starting to cramp up a little bit in the hamstrings. Oh, the hammies are starting to get a little cramped. But yeah, I mean, I agree. O'Malley's been dominant today up until this point, and the hitting has been clutch. I mean, the hitting has been clutch here for the Blue Dogs. Like you mentioned, they don't score all game. Bottom of the 6th. This is pretty much, you would consider maybe one of their last times, and Jackson Van Pelt comes up huge and gives them the go-ahead run.
That pitch is low. And a ball. I think I'm going to join you in standing up, Ethan. This game is really getting intense. This is the action of baseball that we've wanted to see. It's been a duel of pitchers, but now that it's crunch time, I think we're going to see a lot more action and runs here. A big swing is taken on that, but no die. So now we will have a even 1-1 count for the Royal Blue Dogs with a runner on first and second.
We'll see if Stribling can add some insurance runs. As O'Malley's just got to channel in a couple pitches here.
And that'll be another ball and a 2-1 count.
Good little crowd on hand here tonight for a beautiful Sunday night for college baseball.
And that pitch will be high. And it'll now be a 3-1 count for O'Malley, something that hadn't been too common in this game. A count that hadn't been too common in this game for O'Malley. But now in this bottom of this 6th, he hasn't been able to keep his composure that he'd shown so much in the first 5 innings.
And there's no one up in the Crop Dusters bullpen. O'Malley's going to be tasked with finishing this game, and we'll see the head coach go out there once again to calm down O'Malley. But like mentioned, the Crop Dusters haven't had anybody warming up in the pen over here, so it's not an option for them to bring in a new pitcher. So, as I say that, you know, I eat my words. I eat my words like I eat my steak, medium well.
So O'Malley will be taken out of this game into the dugout, and we will now see a new pitcher for the Crop Dusters. And we will see you shortly back in the bottom of this 6th inning. Please stay tuned to the Corn Belt League Network. And we welcome you back here to J.J. Isaacson Field, where the Royal Blue Dogs now have a lead 2-1 against these Crop Dusters. They hadn't scored at all until this inning, but now they have a 1-run lead with the bases fully loaded. Now batting is the designated hitter, Garrett Simpson, who hasn't had too much luck today against the formerly thriving O'Malley, who has recently been subbed out for Max Mosser, who attends Augustana University. And that pitch is going to go behind the catcher, and that'll bring home a runner from third to home. The Royal Blue Dogs now have a 3-1 lead, and the runners will move down the line now with runners on third and second. Not a great start for this after this pitching change for the Crop Dusters. Oh, Mosser winds up. Simpson takes a big swing at that one, but no contact, so it'll now be 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the bottom of this 6th inning for the Blue Dogs.
And 3 runs might just be enough for the Blue Dogs in the top of the 7th. We'll see here. That might be enough insurance for the Blue Dogs to put this game away potentially in the top of the 7th.
Right. The Crop Dusters haven't shown a lot of electricity today. They haven't scored since the top of the 2nd inning, and at that they only scored 1 run. So that pitch is going to get away from Kieser again, and the runners will stay. They'll halt at third and second, unlike they did a little bit earlier, and brought home that run. So it's now a 3-1 count for Simpson facing off of Mosser on the mound. Winds up, the pitch is up, and that'll be a strike. So the count is now full, 3-2 with 2 outs. Royal Blue Dogs have a comfortable 2-run lead now in the bottom of the 6th inning towards the end of this game. And that will be a walk, and the Royal Blue Dogs will now see another fully loaded bases situation. The first baseman, Jake Butler, will now take the batter's box, face Mosser for his first time.
This could be, if Butler gets a hold of one, this could be a dynamite of an inning here. This would really kind of cap off how the Royal Blue Dogs have been able to come back.
That ball's fouled up and over us. And tonight we're just really seeing the perpetual drive of the Royal Blue Dogs. You know, down all of this game, really. They, you know, didn't have much going for them, but they've just really put it together this inning. And if they can come together with a win, that'll be their 6th of the season with only 1 loss. They've really showed a lot of drive and just perpetual throughout this game and throughout this season. So that pitch is low as Butler checks his swing. So now the count is 2 balls with 1 strike with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning with bases fully loaded.
Update for the College World Series. Florida is up 5-3 on Oral Roberts in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs.
Oral Roberts is my team for this College World Series. I think a lot of Omaha natives feel the same. Butler takes a big swing at that, and that is an important strikeout for Mosser as he is able to close out the 6th inning that the Omaha Royal Blue Dogs have scored 3 runs on. He's able to close out a fully loaded bases situation, and the Crop Dusters will return at bat and see if they can keep themselves alive in the top of this 9th inning. Please stay tuned in this tight game. We are the Corn Belt League Network. So now pitching for the Omaha Royal Blue Dogs is Johnson. Seen a couple of pitching changes. Recently took out for the Blue Dogs Carter Smith, who pitched an inning and 1 out.
Will Johnson, who just came into the ball game, has posted a 0 ERA in 4 full innings of work. He's faced 16 batters, has struck out 6 of those 16 batters. He has posted a whip that is sub-1, a .75 whip.
So he's a pretty good relief pitcher for the Royal Blue Dogs. That ball is fouled up and into the stands. Believes everyone is okay here at J.J. Isaacson. But Johnson has an interesting sidearm pitch that, is not uncommon for a relief pitcher. Sometimes we've got pitchers with a little funky release, relieving games.
I mentioned whip earlier in the at-bat. If you don't know what whip is, it's walks plus hits per innings pitched.
So that pitch is outside for Johnson. That's not an uncommon ball for a sidearm pitcher like he is. So the count is now 2-2. And that one is cracked deep into left center field. Attempting to chase that one down. That will be a base hit. He's running from second, and he will stay on second. And that ball is hauled in. That is a base hit for the Crop Dusters. That is exactly what they needed with 0 outs in the top of the 7th inning, where they are attempting to stay alive against these Royal Blue Dogs who had an electric bottom of the 6th.
That ball was absolutely cracked by Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown got just about every piece of that one, but he hit it to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark, which is left center. Got to give another shout out. Huge relay. That was a very quick relay from Silman in. Held the runner at second. That is huge because now a fly ball can only advance him from second to third instead of third to home. That's small differences like that can make a huge difference later on.
Right, with such a great hit, I honestly was not surprised that that ball wasn't a triple. I mean, we've seen triples today, but from Silman, but that ball didn't have quite the same, exit velocity and distance that one did itself. So great work there by the outfield. And that pitch is a strike. Now 0-2 count for the Crop Dusters.
Huge pitch right there from Will Johnson. That, with his release point, it's almost like a sweeper. It's almost like a slurve. It comes in and sweeps you off the plate. Great movement, great release point.
That pitch is high, and that'll be a ball. So the count is now 1-2 for Will Johnson. The runner on second. The pitch is up and a big swing, but no contact. That will be a strikeout for Will Johnson. And that'll be the first out of the inning for the Royal Blue Dogs, who are hoping to close off this game in the top of the 7th with a 3-1 lead.
We're going to see Cody Zrust step up to the plate. He can play a big part here.
Will Johnson eyes second. The pitch is up and it's high. That will be a nasty strike. That made Zerst duck his head, but that still stayed in the box. And he takes a big swing at that one, but will foul it back, and now it'll be an 0-2 count for Will Johnson. A very important pitch there. So he's hoping to get a second out in his final inning. So now Will Johnson will eye down second and winds up. The pitch is up, and that'll be another ball. So the count is now 1-2. Pitch is up, and that's a big swing. That is a strikeout with now 2 innings.
Oh, should be, I believe it's a 2-2 count now.
There's a little bit of a mistake on the scoreboard there, but it's all right. It'll now be a 2-2 count.
I just got to start taking track of my own.
And that ball's going to get behind the plate there. And now the runner on second will advance to third. So now in scoring position for the Crop Dusters. That's a very important stolen base there. So now the count, I believe, is full.
Yes. Full count. This is a huge pitch from Will Johnson. Will Johnson, I mean, this is magnitude.
And he will walk Zers to first. And now with runners on the corners, the Crop Dusters have put themselves in a pretty hopeful position to tie up this game. They're down 2 runs. They're up 1-0 for a majority of this game up until last inning, where the Royal Blue Dogs were able to give themselves 3 runs to give themselves a 2-run lead in this game.
Could we be seeing the reverse here from the Crop Dusters? They get 3 runs? We'll never know. Baseball's so unpredictable.
And that's a high pitch ball where he's ready to swing it to second when we have a runner from first to second, but he drops it. So now the Crop Dusters have a man on third and second, both in scoring position. And they are both hopeful to tie up this game. Pitches up, and he swings that one, grounds it to the short, who swings it to first. A runner will be brought home. He'll be caught out on first, but now the runner from second advances to third, and the runner on third advances home. So now the Crop Dusters narrow the lead to 3-2 that the Royal Blue Dogs have. Royal Blue Dogs 3, Crop Dusters 2. And now in the top of the 7th inning, 2 outs for the Crop Dusters, only down by 1 run.
Last chance for the Crop Dusters. It comes down to their final out.
And that pitch will be a ball. So now the count is 1-0 with 2 outs. Big swing at that one. No contact. The count is now even out to 1-1.
This is the type of game where you get your adrenaline pumping in the box, on the mound, on base. This is the game where your blood starts jumping, starts fusing up.
Even up here in the press box.
We're all on our feet up here.
We're all on our feet. We're all on our feet. Everyone here at JJ Isaacson is absolutely tuned in. Hope that you're tuned in at home. The adrenaline's running through you too.
We're supplying the energy.
Supplying the energy. The count is 2 and another big swing at that. And now the count is 2-2 for the Crop Dusters. Absolute last chance here in the top of the 7th. They're down by 1 run with 2 outs in the inning. So it all comes down to right here for the Crop Dusters.
Will Johnson has got to go back to what he does best and throw the heat.
The heat is thrown, and that ball is popped high up into the air over to third base, and he puts the squeeze on that one, and that is the ball game. The Omaha Royal Blue Dogs are able to come away with the win against the Crop Dusters in an electric 6th inning. The Crop Dusters give a valiant effort at the top of the 7th, and they give only off 1 run with runners in scoring position. They're not able to pull off the win. So it will be the Omaha Royal Blue Dogs, who still, this deep into the season, only have 1 loss. They have 6 wins, 1 loss on the season. The Crop Dusters are now 3-3, absolutely even, as the Blue Dogs shake each other's hand amongst themselves and congratulate themselves on a great win tonight.
Yeah, what a win. We saw great pitching. Can't disrupt the fact that Robert O'Malley had a great mounting overall out on the mound, despite the 2 or 3 runs that he did give up in that bottom half of the 6th. He still went out there, gave 5 1/3 innings of really dominant ball, 10 strikeouts. I mean, Cripes, it took him till the 6th inning to really kind of let loose and kind of lay back off a little bit, but that's combined 3 hit, 2 run shutout for the Blue Dogs, and it's exactly what the Blue Dogs need. Coming into the season, me personally, I didn't think the Blue Dogs were going to be the best team in the CBL, but they've really kind of pieced things up. Great pitching, great hitting, great fielding. They've been able to combine everything together, and they look really good.
Right. This game, I think, is a good. It pieces together how this season has gone. You know, a lot. It's not gone exactly how we expected. A lot of comebacks and a lot of great baseball here. This is the Corn Belt League Network, and we'll see you shortly. We welcome you back here to J.J. Isaacson Field. Post-game, the Omaha Royal Blue Dogs are able to piece together a 3-2 win to the Crop Dusters. They give off 3 runs in the 6th inning, having not scored the whole game. They were down to the Crop Dusters, who only had 1 run in the 2nd inning, and then hadn't scored to the top of the 7th when they attempted to make a comeback, but were not able to fully piece it together.
Yeah, it was a really good game. We saw great pitching. We saw the leather being flashed a couple times, but really, like I just mentioned, it was the pitching staff for both teams. Both teams combined through 18 strikeouts in this game, and it was the Royal Blue Dogs offense in the bottom of the 6th that really did seal the deal, however. Jackson Van Pelt hit the go-ahead little bloop single down the left field line, and that really kind of brought the Royal Blue Dogs down the home stretch. And then Will Johnson, despite the fact he did give up a run in that top half of the 7th, looked really good in closing the game out, looked confident. And like you mentioned, the Royal Blue Dogs only have 1 loss on the year, and they lead the CBL standings as we go into this week 6 of the Corn Belt League season, as we start week 6 here tomorrow with the Omaha Crop Dusters and the Omaha Rail Riders. But, I mean, great game overall. Beautiful night for baseball, and this was just overall just a really good game.
A really fun game to watch and a really fun game to commentate. We'll wrap up here shortly, and a great night of baseball. We will see you tomorrow. This is for the Corn Belt League Network. I'm Jackson Ingolstadt here with Ethan McCormick. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow.